I guess we're back from the break, but we're going to the board game screen because some developments have happened where Lilbow's turn, who's up next, has gone to attack Habitation Station. So he's claimed this empty land now in the favor of Templar. There are now 8 pieces in total on the board in their control. They're currently deciding on where to send Neeb, though, because Neeb could attack into Ruins of Ceres, but in doing so would leave Rakshir open for Showtime to simply grab. Drogo can only move one place on his turn. Drogo will actually not really be able to do anything for pretty much 2 turns, is what this, this is starting to look like.
Right.
But of course, we're showing you the fancier version here on stream. If you want to see the no delay version, just type ! brackets on chat, and it'll link you directly to the board that the players are playing with, the sort of Google Doc we've set up. But there's got to be communication, and there's got to be selection. Well, ultimately, it's only the team captains that can move the pieces. I'm sure the players are saying where they want to go. Like, Lilbow may want to never fight Showtime if possible. Maybe that's why he's on the north side of the board. So the question being asked out of Drogo is, can Neeb attack the capital? He cannot, because he would have to use his action point to take over Ruins of Ceres first, and then he'd be defending this map instead of the middle.
Yeah.
So,
which he does.
For those who haven't seen the Team Liquid thread, where it does fully outline how this works, there is an aspect of this where simply you can only move once, and you can perform one action on that turn. So you can use it to attack, or you can use it to recall back home. Because let's say Drogo wasn't at home. Let's say Drogo was in the middle. If you realize that there was an attack coming, he could just recall back home, and that would be the end of his turn. Same kind of goes here for Tal'Darim, who are being a little bit beaten back right now. I also want to point out this interesting dynamic where if Drogo were to take the back 2 tiles on the map, that would be very close to board control.
Back to...
In fact, that would give them, what, 9 pieces?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
yeah.
10. 9, you're right, yes, 9.
So that would put them very close to the 12-win scenario.
Now it's puCK and Drogo's turn. we just skipped right over puCK and Drogo.
Yeah, Drogo's very anxious to give Showtime a turn. So on Neeb's turn, Neeb's actually going to just
control ruins.
Yeah, so he's going to advance forward 1, and this will take control away. This leaves Rakshir open though, which is really interesting, because that cuts off a really big reinforcement line. I gotta figure which tile is Ruins of Ceres on this thing. Replace it with blue. Yay!
Blue. Okay, what is their best bet here?
I think board control is starting to look like a really good bet for Templar.
Yes, but I meant for puCK and Drogo. So puCK should just try and I think his only hope really is to try and beat back Neeb. He could just move and then attack either... Yeah, he attack Lilbow.
By the way, I want to emphasize the turn order doesn't reset every time we cycle through the turns. The turn order only resets on a new day. So for example, once this goes through Showtime, it'll be Hearthstone's turn again. So interestingly enough, by incident, Hearthstone and Showtime are actually back-to-back and could work together to try and combo attacks on, say, Neeb. But worth noting, while we've been playing a lot of these best of 5s, only the capital cities and only Rakshir are best of 5s. The rest of the maps are best of 3s. And we have seen a lot of instances where this goes like 2-0 and comes back, and this, that, and the other. So there's a pretty good chance we get to see some actual maps get taken in very stranger and more different ways. But right now we are waiting on puCK's turn, so I'm sure they're discussing with the team. This was an interesting choice, though. I thought for certain they would have left Neeb on Rakshir, for example.
Well, I guess there's not really a... what would be the point of that?
Just to defend it from Showtime taking it back so quickly. But I guess if they are setting up for an assault on the capital, now this is possible. Because next set of turns, as long as Neeb controls Ruins of Ceres, they can actually take both of those... you could send both Lilbow and Neeb into the capital, for example.
So I thought this was a possibility. Like, if puCK didn't feel confident against Neeb, then he could try and push back Lilbow. But I wasn't sure, because now that would mean Hearthstone fights Neeb, eventually, probably. I mean, they've already gone today, but somehow he's gonna fight him. And he's gonna be the main defender basically on the capital no matter what.
So to explain really quick, guys, puCK can now move once to Star Station. That's his own territory, and he attacks into Lilbow. So now we're gonna have a PvP puCK versus Lilbow. I think I don't remember. We said defender gets server pick, right? And that, I guess we'll say.
I think that's how we were gonna go.
All right, so puCK has to play to Europe. Luckily, puCK is East Coast-ish. No, he's Central, I think. But still, this shouldn't be too terrible for him.
Damn it! I was getting the wrong model first.
All right, Drogo's gonna go fetch Lilbow, but this does mean we set up for what is gonna be a PvP between Lilbow versus puCK coming up next. I don't know why these guys insist on putting them on top of each other like this. I need to spread this out. It's gonna kill me otherwise. So up next, puCK versus Lilbow, but this is only a best of 3 actually. So I really want to drive that point home, considering we've cast 4 best of 5s before any other matches in this tournament.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
But I hope you guys are enjoying the format. It's a little bit different. Next up, best of 3 PvP featuring Lilbow versus puCK. Now this actually might end up working not too badly for puCK, because Lilbow, I know, has been looking into playing Overwatch and hasn't super been invested in StarCraft more recently. So maybe he's feeling a little bit rusty, or maybe he's just like an actual god at PvP who doesn't need to practice. But puCK has been playing against Peely, Anib, and many other players more recently, and of course played a whole best of 9 versus Hearthstone not too long ago for the map test tournament. So I know for a fact puCK's PvP is at least practiced recently, like 100% for certain.
Oh, whoa! What is Drogo doing here? Suddenly, just people in my lobby.
Everyone's popping up out of nowheres. But this is really cool. I gotta say, I know it's like perhaps a little bit longer than normal, but I really like having players pick each other like this. Like, it's not necessarily like, okay, the Red Bull thing, right? Where you would pick somebody with their 3 lives thing, but this is still kind of like you get to choose the direction and who you're attacking. All right, colors are getting selected. Purple's fine for puCK if he wants to stay purple. As long as Lilbow's not red is the only rule. So this is going to be a best of 3. People are asking if we're going to leave Showtime out of the tournament. We're not, guys. This is up to the teams. Like, it's up to Showtime, Hearthstone to decide where Showtime goes. We have no choice in the matter whatsoever. We are simply relaying you what they're doing on the board. Kind of, I guess, casting the board game in a sense out here. So, I mean, if Hearthstone wanted to, he could have Showtime attack into Neeb, because it'll be Showtime's turn at the very end. Drogo can only go a finite amount of areas. I gotta say, Drogo could either start making this long trek across the board like this and eventually get here, or he could just take these back 2 pieces and really put the pressure on. But
we'll find out after.
Yeah, Habitation Station, a bit of an oldie. As we get into this, I think the first time we're seeing this map too is no one has losers selected this one yet either.
Yeah, we've seen everything else besides Habitation Station. So, welcome back.
Yeah.
To the gold bases.
Now this was Defender's advantage. We're trying to give him most of these situations. So, for example, in this instance, puCK is going to be attacking into Lilbow, so we're playing on the European server first. But should puCK lose, we'll take it to North America, and we'll do loser's pick, and so forth, and so forth. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Civil War, a tournament sponsored by Yord. If you see that guy in chat, real_Jansoon, gonna write this out, put a poo emote. That's the guy who represents Yord. That's who we're working with for the tournament, and that's the guy who's gonna be picking the code at the end of stream. So right now, if you still haven't, make sure to go enter in for a chance to win that $150 code, courtesy of Yord. But spawning here in the upper left side of the map, he's playing for the Tal'Darim. He's on the attack and wants to take some of the map back. It's gonna be puCK.
The top right as the blue Protoss, he is Millennium's Lilbow.
I'm actually just gonna check in with Jansoon real quick and see how many people have entered. How many people entered giveaway? Because last time we did this, only like 70 people had entered. We mentioned it on stream, and I think people realized how good their chances were. So, boom, immediately like 200 more people entered in. So we want to figure out just how many people are already entered into said giveaway. And you guys can figure out whether it's worth your while to sign up or not. The really nice thing about Yord, by the way, I'm going to advertise this, is not actual advertising for their products, but they've made a promise to us a long time ago. There's one small mistake But since then, it's always been fixed where they're not going to spam you with deals and promotions. When you sign up for that gift code, when you sign up for stuff to participate in the giveaways, yes, you're entering your email, but no, you're not going to get follow-up messages. You should never get spam from them advertising like extra sales unless you want to. For the most part, it's just simply so they can record who's coming, who's going, and where to send these messages to directly.
Yeah.
But he says approximately a little less than 70 people have signed up. So that's a pretty good chance to win that code, guys. Again, all you got to do is go to the woodwatches.com/base, sign up as if you're requesting a discount code, and then you'll be entered in to win by adding your Twitch name. We'll be drawing for the winner live at the end of stream today. And you can tell TakeTV as well.
Yeah, actually, TakeTV said the chat responded quite favorably to the Wood Watches first time they've seen them. They're fancy. They're nice. They're actually like, I don't know, they're like a coverall for anything relatively fancy. I think the wood color usually goes with everything. I guess there's some that are a little more colored than others, but I got like a pretty plain one. Anywho, Happy Sensation is going to create a bit of a different game. So this wasn't our intention for sure, but it just, for whatever reason, like all the maps that we chose are pretty standard. Like with Star Station not having horizontal or vertical options, you're forced into a fairly long map. And
it's not only that, but I mean, these are all maps that were from the ladder, so we knew that they weren't going to be super broken, weird Fruitland style maps in the first place. Yeah,
that's true. But I was gonna say that for Happy Sensation, it's not weird because of like the gold bases in the middle, which certainly created some very fun games. Ooh, it's actually probably one of the shorter maps that we have from base to base.
Yeah.
It's also shorter by air as well, so you could have, if this is played again, maybe like a Stargate on the edge, or maybe more mothership cores going across the airspace and whatnot, but it's actually going to be used as an aggressive map, as we see Lilbow going for this proxy.
I actually really like this though, because a lot of the PvPs we've been casting have been really passive, and again, nobody has played particularly greedy, but no one's really been set up to defend an all-in. And if Lilbow plans to hit puCK hard with an all-in, I mean, this Robo was proxied. I want to really, like, it's not about the gateway, it's the Robo being proxied that's really going to turn the heat up to 10 on this one. And for that reason, I kind of like this tactic. But if puCK scouts this at any point, it becomes infinitely better to deal with. But right now, the only thing he has to rely on is what is possibly 2 force fields to buy him so much time. His Robo's still not even done yet, after all.
This might just work out favorably. He knows there's no Nexus, and he hasn't seen an army walk across the map for a while with that Zelnaka, so he probably has some idea. But it's got to be those force fields immediately. Letting the Adepts in kind of sucks, but like definitely don't try and chase those. Just use the force fields here. A little late on it.
He was really worried about anything giving up the ramp, but cutting the army off like this to get free kills is still going to be good. Probes being pulled away now, realizing just how much danger this natural base is in. I mean, obviously for puCK, he would love to just get mining on this as long as he could, but he quickly lost control of the situation. Now falling back towards the main. The Adepts transferred in to try and focus on that sentry. It goes down. New sentry warped in. Can he keep the Immortal out? He does keep the Immortal out. This is pretty key.
Oh, wow. That was a really, really clutch force field. But it was also super clutch with those Adepts to take down the sentry with actually a force field available. So that was
cool.
Pretty
I liked
cool.
it. We got another Immortal finishing up in just a second. They'll be walking right on in. This Immortal's going to give a lot of extra damage to these Stalkers. puCK's already really low on units overall. Zealots are warped in, but they're not going to buy much time. There might not be Blink or anything for a little bit to dance around with, but he's got a big army supply. And oh man, here comes that Probe Pull. He's going to try and corner him into this backside. I don't know that this will matter though, because there's so much that's going to die in this attack.
There's nothing helping the probes. Like, there was a single zealot, there is a sentry, and Militia was not adding too much damage.
She doesn't want him to run away. She's time warping to keep them in place. Stay here, you're dead, you're mine.
GG. puCK, maybe not expecting a total on like that. Probably something more along the lines of just a little bit of pressure, but no, that was a proxy Robo. It's a lot of damage.
Again, out of like what has got to be close to 20 some odd PvPs we've cast specifically with puCK recently, like that was a very different one. But now we go back to NA. We'll swap servers, we'll get things set up, and we'll see you guys as quick as possible for Game 2 when we return.
Lilbow's not here.
Well, we're back. Just as you guys hear at the time, we're going to announce Lilbow's currently not here. We got to get him on the North American server to play. Just message, I guess we tried messaging Drogo real quick. Lilbow to come NA. By the way, this is hosted on East Coast, I'm hoping. Yeah, assuming.
No, it's not. No.
Should kick everybody and just remake it then. Because we don't.
Well,
It'd be so stupid to make Lilbow play on West or something. Even Central might be a little bit of a stretch.
okay.
But okay, so we'll get the lobby restarted, and Lilbow's not here right now anyway, so that's fine. As far as timing on the tournament goes, because this has been asked and asked and asked again, this tournament doesn't really have a definitive end. And that's, I feel like, one of the good things about it. Like, it's kind of cool knowing that this could go on for a while, but also might abruptly end at any point. But I will say we've got about an hour left-ish, so maybe another best of 3. If it starts off a best of 5, we'll just play that one best of 5 and finish it off from there. But this tournament for day 2 is getting closer and closer to its conclusion. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you guys for joining us, but we have still got the rest of this best of 3, and again, probably about one more after this. It all depends on where pieces move on the board, because Drogo and Showtime can still move. And Showtime's in a very unique spot where he can hit... Him and Hearthstone could both attack Neeb in a best of 3, and both of those players could knock Neeb back to their capital city. In fact, just going back to the board game while we wait for the lobby to fill up. We're good whenever they are, by the way. But yeah, a very unique set of situations, because the next turn will be Drogo's turn, then Showtime's turn, then Hearthstone's turn. And if this works out perfectly for the Tal'Darim, Showtime knocks out Neeb, and Hearthstone won't have to do any trouble, and he can just land, grab, rack, shear, or even attack into Lilbow if puCK fails here. A lot of cool potential, guys. We'll see what the players have in mind afterwards, though. We're going to load into Ceres Station. Now, make no mistake, this is Ruins of Ceres. It's just been reskinned and retiled. It's a wintry Protoss map called Ceres Station that looks so much cooler, in my opinion. But in the upper right, he's the defender of the Templar, looking to hold this spot against the aggressor. In the top right, he's going to be blue. He's Protoss. He's Lilbow.
In the top left for the Tal'Darim, it is the red Protoss puCK.
And I just realized in the reskinning of the map, yeah, there's no more floating tree down here. Sad face.
Aww. Also, they took away like the Reaper blockers.
Oh, at the ramp. You're right. Well, I guess that doesn't matter for this though, because it's PvP.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't. But I wonder if the impassable area is still there. So if someone did, for instance, like take this custom mod and they were like, I can't wait to play it on as a Terran, and they're like, I can get up here. Wait, what's happening?
I don't think you can on this right side because there's still a doodad there, but I don't actually think there's a doodad on the left side here.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, puCK, I mean, first off, he definitely wasn't expecting the attack, and you don't see a lot of proxies, at least from what we've seen. You and I talked about this already. Like, we expected to see more proxies, not just in that best of 9 with Hearthstone and puCK, not just in the best of 5s, the 3 of them that we've cast leading into this, but we've actually seen only macro play out of every player so far. And that's not a bad thing, but that does present weakness, and I love that Lilbow identified this. And I don't know if this was Drogo and him like contemplating together, like, hey, we should do this move, or if this was all Lilbow's thought process. But he really did catch puCK off guard and took advantage of a very macro-oriented player.
Yeah. It was probably mostly that these games have all been macro-oriented, but it might have also been a little bit on the map, because it's been a long time since we've seen Habitation Station, and it wasn't a different expansion, but what I can remember, I do remember quite a few proxies from Protoss. You know, of course, there was the very infamous Proxy Tempests, which, I mean, could basically be proxied in your base with how close the airspaces were, and that was pretty fun, so I think it was a bit of both. And also Lilbow is, you know, one of these players that could have been playing differently this entire time, but he just hasn't been thrown out, right? There's 2 players that have not been fighting, and they could be the ones that are actually going to mix up the way these games are played, either by cheesing and proxying or by, you know, doing a different composition or something like that.
Also, by the way, we had a Team Hearthstone shirt just selling in the American shop. Whoop, whoop.
Hey, Team Hearthstone. I just think it looks cooler. just my opinion, bro.
Oh, wow, this is cool. I never noticed this weird thing before, but it was, yeah, so it's really cool. Again, like, I really don't expect us to sell hundreds of shirts. Obviously, that would be really cool for the players, but if we could sell about 50 shirts in total for each, I think I'd be really happy with that. I think the players would be happy to get some extra cash from that. I mean, context here, guys. Okay, so Hearthstone, Teespring shows the estimated profits, right? And the estimated part of this is, like, the more shirts you sell, the more percentage of dollar you'll get per shirt. So Hearthstone's team alone has sold about actually, it has sold exactly $69 worth of profit.
Hey.
18 from the European shop, 51 from the American shop. So again, 50% of that is going to go to the players. So already each player on Hearthstone's team is getting an additional $10-ish, regardless of how this tournament goes.
Nice.
I think it's pretty cool. And let's not forget the actual Yord prize pool, because 58 people bought watches. I don't know if that's changed yet. That's like $1,400 as well. I love that we can do something fun like this and get such good benefit for the people involved.
Yeah. Thank you to Rilan, I'm gonna go with, for subbing, being a new sub.
New sub hype! Shoutouts and thank you. Alright, so Robo coming down for puCK. Nothing really too different this game, but I think a large part of this played into the fact that he was a little bit more attentive with scouting early on with that probe, but no follow-up means he doesn't know whether a Nexus was down, and truthfully, while I think he's probably guessing there's no way Lilbow's going to chase me twice the same way in a row, there's got to be that little bit of a chip on your shoulder, right? You know, just kind of, could this happen? So the Oracle coming in is going to reveal that's not the case anymore. He doesn't really lose that much for it. In fact, the Oracle only got 1 probe kill. So... already good defense. Second Oracle now coming across the map, looking to tag team with this. But puCK, as long as he's got Stalkers in one base and the Overcharge available with the other, Lilbow's not really going to be able to get too much damage in here. And
So,
I think that's, well,
okay.
Never mind.
I was going to say, what's interesting is that with 2 Oracles, and he missed up the micro here, he could have gotten the sentries. So, unfortunately, like, one is guaranteed to die because it was already kind of low. But the other one, had it not been missed microed, probably could have lived, but, like, with, like, you know, like 20 health or something like that.
Well, puCK was doing this thing, and I expect him to do it again, right? He always... This is like a very classic puCK move where you put 2 Stalkers on the mineral line and stack the probes underneath it. So I feel like Oracle, Harass, focused on probes is going to be tough in the first place, just because puCK's actually got this really sick defense for it.
This really doesn't put Lilbow in a good position. To get 1 Oracle and have it denied is like, it hurts, but I guess you'll get over it. To have 2... that really do get denied, like, pretty hard. That's pretty bad.
I mean, well, those are supposed to be revelations going forward, and it's supposed to be more scouting, something that now he's losing out on entirely.
It's so funny because even if it's denied because it doesn't get any probes, but it doesn't die, it's like so much better than the reverse. Like getting 5 probes and dying actually is still probably not as good.
Right, and we've talked about the threat of it being there, keeping units in a base. I mean, no longer is Lilbow going to be able to pressure puCK into keeping like 4 Stalkers and a sentry in the mineral lines. In fact, only leaving a very small couple, and as he moves the majority of his army out of the map. And he does have a pretty big army supply lead, 8 Stalkers to 7, so I guess about even in the middle of the map because of leaving some at home. But I don't know, the Warp Prism's going to be here. Sentries are close behind. This is probably going to be able to pressure this third. I can't imagine he gets a kill here if Lilbow defends perfectly, but I mean, there's no pylons on the low ground. It's only the Stalker versus Stalker. And I guess no blink on either side just yet. Both players very close to having it finish up, though.
I almost thought that Lilbow was preparing to give this up because without the Photon Overcharge, I don't think he can hold against this. Not with another Warp in, even with just the Force Fields and the Guardian Shield, maybe not. So it looks like puCK is waiting for his blink to finish up, which will in turn give Lilbow blink, which is kind of funny. But he does have the bigger army here, and the Force Fields are looking pretty good. That was right as Lilbow's blink finished, I suppose. A little unfortunate. The third base will have to be canceled. It was kind of a bold base to take, to be honest, though. Like, unless puCK was just feeling a little bit nervous or, you know, just, I don't think I can do this, which... puCK is, like, really good at PvP. I don't think that's ever going to be a given. You weren't going to get that third base. Like, your opener was denied, and he had a lot of control. Oh, Jesus.
That snipe of the Warp Prism was so sick. He's going to force with this off with this Blink Stalker, so most of them get up to the high ground. But puCK's got the advantage where not only does he have Blink, he's got, like, a second layer of Blink with the Warp Prism. Additional Warp Pins coming in as Lilbow tries to focus these down, but it's not quite going to cut it. Probes get pulled into the mess. puCK can always blink out of the base if this gets too messy, but I don't think he should. The momentum's strong. The momentum side. Look at that pickup micro as the Warping continues to warp in reinforcements right on that front line.
Yeah. Things are starting to get a little bit scary, but the damage has already been done. Lilbow down 12 workers, as long as all the Stalkers from puCK don't just die here.
Out.
And they all mostly blink out. Then that's certainly a lot better for puCK, who also has a third base finishing up, so his probe count should increase by a little bit, and then it'll actually be so much better saturated.
The graphic on this warp in, is that messed up for you too, or just me?
I thought it was, like, last time I saw this map, but I didn't want to bring it up. Because you yelled at me when I was like, oh, I didn't think that was going to be the storm, so...
However, SOS, by the way, picks up with a 4-month resub, and this is someone who tweets at us from time to time too, so thank you so very much for that extra level of being awesome. But the Immortal's out, and the Pylon's finished. In a worst-case scenario, yep, you've got overcharges, and I don't think this is too bad for puCK at all. I really love his position. He can defend. He's got an epic economic advantage. Lilbow may eventually be able to catch up, but that's only going to be if puCK gives him too much breathing room, which I can't imagine he does.
Nah. puCK is puCK's pretty good in this matchup. I'd be more worse if it was like a PvZ or something, but nah, the PvP's got this, and he's got the Blink and the Immortal, so he really should be winning this.
Call these deaths Forsaken kills, because he just resubbed for 6 months in a row. Thank you so much for that resub.
The Blink forward is a little bit scary, but there really wasn't much behind this, so Lilbow will just be dying
That's
here.
so sick. I love the focus on the War Prism. He knew the Immortal would take care of what's on the ground, blinking around as best he can, but Lilbow is out of game number 2. It looks like GG calls. Ties up this series now 1-1.
Going to Europe. Thank God it's in the best of 9.
Right. So small defender's advantage will return to Lilbow, who will be now defending on his home server. Gives him a bit of an edge, but we'll see if it's enough to really shut puCK down. That was a great game out of him. Gonna go a small break, guys. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Okay, we're back. Thank you guys for watching that break. We're waiting on puCK to pick his map. He's got Orbital Shipyard, Prey on Terrace, a Star Station, Dust Towers, and Rack Shear to choose from. But of course, even if you choose Rack Shear, it's still best of 3. It doesn't change. But we got a very, very nice donation actually coming in. Not like insane dollars, but one of the nicer messages. $11.13 coming from Brainbug SC, who in chat, by the way, says greetings from Berlin. So hello. Says watching you since the beginning and never contributed. This changes now. Thanks for all the hard work and all the entertainment. You both are a great team. Stay like that. Aw. Thank you, Brainbug. And sorry for mistyping your name in chat. We were actually at the end of the game when the donation came in, so I spelled it, started typing TOG at the same time. Bit of a mistake there. But, we are, is that you or is that me?
That's me. I guess my brother burnt some toast or something.
I was like, what is that? Is that tinnitus? Is there an alarm going off? Ugh. Anyways, yeah, your brother sounds like a terrible cook from everything you've ever described to me about him.
I think
burning
he is.
stuff at midnight, and
yeah,
he's literally burning the midnight oil, I guess.
It's not midnight right now. I don't know what he's doing. I guess I'll go look. Oh,
Okay,
wait.
so
no, it's done.
during the break, I went to go grab my watch to show off. You have one too, I think, right? You want to just go grab that while we're waiting for the lobby, I guess? We can show these wood watches off.
I had to unpack it actually because I brought it to the wedding.
Would you go do that?
Sure.
Anyways, here's the show off mine, guys. So again, real quick, while she does that, actually, woodwatches.com/base. We're not wasting your time here. This isn't like we're not taking a break from the game. puCK just hasn't picked his map, so we're gonna advertise the sponsors while we're waiting instead. So we've actually sold, holy shit, 3 more watches since we looked at it this morning. We're up to 61 watches sold now. Prize pool for the tournament close to $1,500. And of course, as we scroll down here, this is where you put all your information if you would like to enter in for that $150 watch code giveaway. But forget that for a second. Let's look at some of these watches. Here's not showing hers off. I think it was at the very bottom. Which is that called again? I don't remember. I'm scrolling and looking. Anyways, we got some really nice watches because these guys sponsored us back when we did Hell It's About Time, and they gave us watches for Hell It's About Time. So mine's up here in the middle. It's the dark sandalwood and blue carbon. I really like this one. It looks so nice, and I've said it before. The wood is really light, so it's very comfortable to wear. The very first time I ever got this, though, they sent it to me 2 sizes too small, and for free they sent me out 2 extra links just to make sure it would fit properly later. So that was kind of cool of them. But the wood watches are really nice. It is like not the craziest fancy thing you'll ever see in your entire life, but it's one of the fancier things I own. So I usually do what Zombie did and keep it packed up like safe and next to my bed so I don't wreck it and break it. But what's interesting, and I will say this ended up being the surprising benefit to these. They ended up being very interesting conversation starters at a lot of the events we've been to. People saying like, oh, is that sponsor watch you guys have on your channel and all that? And yes, that tends to be the case. That you take it off and show people, and they're kind of like, ooh and ah. And it's a very interesting conversation starter with a couple of people that I met from Blizzard and some other places. But anyways, looks like puCK has finally picked his map, Ember Towers, aka Dusk Towers.
So, just waiting on puCK to ready up. But Uh, Take TV asked, can you use your action point before the movement point? So more clarification on the board game. And what we agreed on was that if you use your action point, like if you were right next to someone you wanted to attack on your new turn and you attacked, you would then give up your movement point for it. So you couldn't
Yeah.
attack and then move.
We also didn't want people like taking a piece of land that was empty and moving back to a safe space that's way too safe and prolong the game for silly, stally reasons.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get into the game. Really quick, again, interesting question from Relan, new and recent sub to the channel, says bring back Trial of the Zelnaga. That was an interesting tournament, and like that was very, I feel, unique to the people casting it. Made it more fun than the necessarily the tournament itself.
It was day 9, and I can't remember who else. I remember it was like in like Florida.
I thought it was in Control,
actually,
wasn't
it might have been in Control. You're right, but as much as I love both of them as casters, I actually thought the game itself was a lot more fun because that had some of the funnest games ever. Like White Raw was playing, and he would always go for the mothership, and he would try and do the planet cracker.
For me, I guess it broke down listening to them laugh and make jokes and have the infestors spawn and other dumb things. Like, regardless, it's a cool tournament idea, guys, and it's not a terrible one. And I'm not saying we would never do it, but I really like being original and coming up with our own stuff too. So like this is like 100% BaseTradeTV on this one, right? So we'll say maybe, but unlikely for now. However, as we get into game number 3, this could determine a lot. If he wins this game, it could greatly shape the way the rest of his team can play. Representing the Tal'Darim, they're already backed up to their capital city. He's looking to break them out just a little bit. It's puCK.
In the top right as the blue Protoss, his name's Lilbow.
All right, so this is, again, so much of this goes back to the board game, and I guess we'll talk on that if it ends up being a slow opening. But this is Dusk Towers reskinned as Ember Towers. Little cool effects, fire burning all over the place. It's a ruined city, and that's how it should look. But this is something where it was puCK's pick, however, or sorry, Lilbow's pick, and he gets to take it back to the European server. So unfortunately for puCK, he is maybe going to be fighting a little bit of latency on this one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely true, but it wasn't latency that killed him the first time. It was not scouting a cheese on a newer map because it's one of the older maps. Funny way to put it, but that's not going to happen on Dusk Towers. Even if it wasn't in the map pool, it's been played for so damn long and it's so standard that the chances of you not, like, the chance of you dying to a cheese is actually kind of low. You know, the whole, like, you know, safe natural and all that.
It's funny you brought that up as, like, he didn't scout it, because I guess that is a thing where, like, there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of, like, there was probe scouting, but, like, not really dedication to probe scouting. And this time, I think he's going to be once again very happy he did probe scout, because for puCK, a lot of questions are going to get raised. Like, these first 2 pylons are well positioned. Had that stayed in the natural and sacrificed itself, you would have seen that the timing was so weirdly off and known that there's something else going on the map. But Lilbow decides to go for another attack. He's going to proxy a Stargate this time.
Okay. I almost wanted to see a Robo just because it's going to be one of those things like, you know, who does that twice? No one. But proxying a Stargate, I don't know if this will really add enough time for puCK to be caught off guard. He does get...
He's looking. He knows something's
Oh,
up.
okay. I was going to say, if he didn't have something already on auto patrol or whatever, then it might have been questionable, especially with him focusing on dealing with the Adepts first. But with this probe, really nicely done by puCK, he does see this. And now it's just basically like, okay, don't put your units out of position. Well, you have the units, but...
It's also a little bit tough, because there's definitely that desire to bring some Stalkers over. You deal with the Adepts and then get over to that pylon ASAP and knock it down. Because look, it's a Stargate if there's nothing powering it. And it looks like he's going to try and do this. Now, this is a bit risky. I think he'll get the pylon in time. But if he's out of position, yeah, Lilbow's just going to cancel it and not even invest into it. This already puts him massively behind in the game. Slower natural at the cost of what should have been an economic advantage from killing probes, now completely lost.
Well, not a great start for Lilbow. This is actually like the last game we just saw, where it was also not a great start. Even though the Oracles actually got to come out, they still didn't do too much and were just straight up denied, so... Not saying it's going to snowball into puCK's favor again, but puCK does seem to have the better grasp on a macro game, as that's the one that he won. And of course, he's had so much experience just within the last 4 days, right? Because the last one was on Thursday, playing PvP. And then, of course, the MAT tournament before that. So a lot of PvP for puCK. Lilbow, he's been kind of left in the reserves. He's only just come out now.
trolling on Twitter
BaseTradeTV.
really quick too. See one of the important people from Overwatch just saying, the only problem I have right now is there's so many Overwatch streams that I want to watch. Who are you watching right now? So of course I responded with BaseTradeTV, even though we're not doing Overwatch. Hey. So Kiki, if you're listening to this message 3 minutes in the future, or in the past, I mean, what's up? Thanks for clicking that link bait.
Well, the game continues despite Lilbow's unfortunate opener, and it continues not really so bad for him. In fact, he's up 6 probes, so there you go. It's just that puCK, of course, has got to be feeling pretty good about finding that out and denying it as quickly as he did. Lilbow, I mean, maybe if he thought he could get the Oracle out, should have still gotten it out, you know, just to save it for, like, those revelations you're talking about last game and whatnot. But I think he kind of looked at the time and thought, like, okay, it's not going to come out anyway, so might as well cancel it now. And in an odd way, maybe puCK even could over-dedicate to a defense. If he thought he was going to be really aggressive, because that's how he won last time, doesn't get a scout on that natural, and puCK does not have a scout on Lilbow's that natural, maybe he took it a little bit too seriously. I mean, he still has units in his main and his natural, so...
How sick does this Nexus look like with the fire like reflecting the light off of it?
I don't think my reflections are on Ultra, so...
Oh, okay, well, never mind.
I don't know.
Rip. Get a better computer, Zombie. God.
I have a fine computer. I just choose not to be fancy.
Fair point. All right, question coming from chat. Salty
fine.
QQ is asking, BaseTradeTV, does your ship watches to Europe? And actually, Jansoon in chat, who is the representative for Yord, already answered for us and says yes. So just relaying that information on the stream. I heard the beep going off again.
I swear to God.
You know, just maybe mute yourself while it goes on. It's not super loud, but it's gonna kill me. So I guess we'll just YOLO until Zombie decides to butt in back with some commentary. As her brother continues to burn the house down. Luckily, one of her other brothers, allegedly, is a firefighter, so there'll be no issues should the house actually catch fire, hopefully. Now we got this move coming up out of puCK once again, though. He's going to drop these sentries to the high ground. All the Immortals are out of position for Lilbow, and this is going to be a devastating attack.
Wow. This is, of course, something that Neeb tried to do, but, you know, combination Hearthstone on top of things in the SimCity didn't really work out.
This is so good out of puCK. It looks like Lilbow is like, going to fight for his life. I love the pickup of the War Prism trying to keep the sentries alive. These Stalkers, their only mission is to knock out the sentries so there's no more force fields, but picking them up, keeping them alive. Mothership Core trying to help out, but that's it. That's everything. Now only Warpins, one Immortal's going to spawn. That's going to get absolutely surrounded by these Stalkers. puCK's got about 700 minerals in the bank. Warping things in is not at all going to be an issue for him, as Lilbow just struggles to take any sort of defensive fight. The Immortal's going to die. Blast shots go down. And one more force field locks off that ramp once again.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically game, even if Lilbow could get up. The third base is now on par with Lilbow as it pushes up for puCK, and of course that army supply in favor of puCK as well.
Like, if you have Archons, you can break this and it's not a problem, but this strategy, as cool as it is not as common as it's been seen these last few games. Like, I'm really feeling it for Lilbow. He's lost everything on this. Overcharge is like his last line of defense. The Immortals are breaking the ramp barely as the force fields give them breaks, but probes getting pulled once again, and it looks like the Templar are going to have one of their members sent back to their capital as puCK breaks out of this contain that the Tal'Darim have set upon them.
Yeah, very nicely done from puCK. I guess maybe he wasn't too confident against Neeb, and that's waiting for Lilbow. Or maybe they just wanted to get this upper position, but they got it either way. Their strategy, it's worked out thanks to puCK's pretty damn good maneuvering around here. And Lilbow, he's trying to hold on, but 45 probes lost. It's absolutely game. I'm actually a little surprised he's still in the game with 45. Like, he's got to be looking around and be like,
he's got a 4-worker income, all right? Zombie, calm down. Those are 4 workers that could eventually bring him back into this.
Just calm down. I started looking around puCK space. I maybe missed some BT or something, but no, that is just game.
All right, Tal'Darim gonna break this hold as puCK wins the series 2-1. So as we go out here to the board game, actually, because this is where things start changing up. Turn that fire off because there's no longer war, as Lilbow is now sent back to the capital where he sits with Drogo. puCK takes the board control as he takes this tile back. I gotta put red to replace it. And
you didn't
next,
know it was a best of 3.
Oh, awkward.
Hooray!
Well, that's what the benefit from reading the rules is, I guess. Okay, so as puCK reclaims this tile on the board, now it's going to be Drogo's turn and then Showtime's turn. And this is where this gets really interesting, because Drogo really can't do anything right now but move to try to get back on the front lines. Showtime has 2 really excellent options. One is take control of Rakshir in the middle of the map and grab that for free, and have a full surround on Neeb from 3 different Tal'Darim members. but he risks something in doing so. Because if Neeb on his turn can kill Hearthstone in the capital, that could end the game and the entire tournament. But here's the map order, right? Or the turn order. It's going to be Showtime and then Hearthstone, then Neeb. So technically what could happen here is Showtime could attack Neeb, lose, go to the capital. Hearthstone could attack Neeb, lose, go back to the capital, and then Neeb could attack Hearthstone. And Hearthstone and Showtime can actually tag out in the capital and pick who's the defender. So there's a lot of potential cool things coming, all depending on how these next couple of turns go. But it is going to be Showtime's turn. He can land grab the middle, he can land grab Habitation Station, or he could attack Neeb. Those are his 3 options. We'll find out what he wants to do when we return from this break. So thank you guys for watching the Civil War. We'll be back in a bit. I guess we'll just put the t-shirt ads up while we're on break. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. By the way, ! brackets will take you to the Google document where you can watch all these moves being made live, and you won't have to wait for the stream delay to catch up.